Hello, Ronald. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thank you so much for coming and taking time out for me. Would like to know, would you tell us a little bit about your life, where, in what country, in which city you grew up?
Originally, I'm from the Caribbean, St. Vincent, in the Grenadines. I came here in 1969. My mom came in 67 or 68 and brought us up a few years later. Um, we migrated to Brooklyn, New York. By the way, my mom is a nurse, and she had an opportunity to come here. And I worked, I lived in New York until 2002. I, I was with American Airlines pre 9/11, after 9/11. As you know, a lot of employees got let go. My wife worked for Chase for, wow, she just retired. She's been with Chase for over 30 years. She's been through Manufacturers Hanover Trust merger, chemical merger, and now Chase. And she just retired. So we've been here since 2002. I have a daughter. She's 28 years old. Uh, she's my heart. Um, and here we are in Tampa, Florida.
How old were you when you came? You said you're 69. How old were you then?
62. Oh
Oh,
boy.
69. You came in 69.
Yes, yes, yes. I came in 69. I believe I was 10, 12 years old.
Very young.
Yeah, it's very
So,
young.
do you remember anything that you spent ten years in St. Vincent? Any of those memories still?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Cause my mother always made sure that we went back, and I was back for a few years. So I still remember a lot of things. It's not a very big island, maybe 120,000 people on the island.
What was it like to how was the childhood different than most teenagers or 10 years old in America? Like, did you play cricket, or what kind of sports as a 10-year-old?
At that time in the 60s, there weren't too many Caribbeans, so there were more Americans around. I will tell you that I did have a hard time because I was made fun of. uh,
For your accent?
my accent and the way I dressed, because back then everyone wore uniforms, and they still do here in the States. You wore whatever you wore. So I remember going to school um, in shoes, dress slacks, and shirt, uh,
Proper
and
clothes.
yes, proper clothing. And I was made fun of many times.
Were you able to understand that what are you made fun of, even though you had immaculately dressed?
Yes, they told me. they told me. They told me.
But you understand, they told you that your shoes are not right or
Yeah.
not fashionable enough. But did
Yes.
you understand as a 10-year, 11-year-old kid that what what does fashion mean for these people, and how is it different for you?
Um, it to me it seems like they put more emphasis on fashion, um, going to school, rather than going to school. And it's still true today. You know, kids put more emphasis on dressing a certain way and doing a certain thing. That's not going to get you a job.
So you think, growing up in St. Vincent, and I grew up in India, wearing uniform to school until age 18 is makes everybody look the same, and
Yeah.
then you put your focus on studies, and that is
Yes.
all.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so.
So that was different here. So you had to divide your attention, like, partly to how you looked
Yeah.
going to school.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
And I don't know about India, but well, maybe in India as well, because the British
Mm-hmm.
occupied India for a while, and same thing with Saint Vincent,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the wording um, was English, versus here in the States. I remember.
Even
Um,
British pronunciation
yes,
and spellings too, right?
yes. This I was getting to that. The
Right.
spelling, some spellings is different.
Like Colour.
Yes, and I was marked wrong for. I'm like, but this is the
So you're
way.
getting punished for spelling it correctly.
Exactly. So I had to learn to do things the American way.
Do you think your accent now is more New York or more still like your native countries, or is it more? What is it now? Because
Well, I've been told I don't have an accent.
Mhm.
I've been told I have an accent. So um, I don't know.
Right.
Uh,
Well, it doesn't really matter as long
I,
as you can make
yeah,
yourself understood.
correct.
Um, so you said you're 62 now,
62.
and you were only 10 or 11 when you came, so you spent 50 years almost, right?
Yes.
More than 50 years in
Hmm.
America. And do you feel American?
No,
No.
no, no.
But you live in America and you breathe the American air
Hmm.
and eat American food and do lots of American things. But how do you not feel American, and what does feeling American mean?
uh, okay. When my mom came in 67, her American counterparts, the Black Americans, told her that why is she coming here, take her job, take take their jobs, and she didn't, as much as she tried to um, um, incorporate herself, a lot of them just didn't want to be with her. Um, and you know, even nowadays, there's a little bit of animosity with Caribbeans and Americans. Not that much, but sometimes it does come up,
Mhm.
which is sad because years ago, when I worked for JetBlue,
Mhm.
I had this Caucasian lady told me that I wasn't black. I'm
Okay.
like, what do you mean I'm not black? I said, I get up,
I check every time.
she, she said, because I'm from the Caribbean.
Oh, so what is that? How? So black is not
So,
about the skin color; it's about where you come from. Probably Africa. Is that how
um,
do you decide who's
so
black and who's not?
yes, so I'm like, you know, you know, John over there,
Hmm.
he's black, but he was born here. I said, I'm black, but and she's not the first person who told me this.
Very
Uh,
interesting. Do this was a Caucasian lady who told you that you're
yes,
not black, but were they? Have you heard from black people in America who also told you that you're not black?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you sometimes feel like, who am I? I'm not American. I'm not black, and also since I've lived here for so long, I'm also not a Caribbean anymore, I
yeah,
guess. So you sometimes struggle with your identity,
yeah,
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 or you think that I'm from everywhere,
yeah, from everywhere.
right?
I have no problems with anyone. I
Okay.
can get along with anyone. It doesn't matter. If you think I'm this, well, more power to you.
Okay. That doesn't really bother you or
Nope,
your thinking or your
nope,
work, right?
nope. You can. I haven't experienced a lot of racism
Mm-hmm.
in this country. To be
Mm-hmm.
honest with you, I've heard people say they've been pulled over by the police officers, and all sorts of things are going on.
Mm-hmm.
A quick story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very close to my mom who passed away not too long
Sorry,
ago.
very sorry about
Thank you. So after she retired, she was a visiting nurse person, and plus she did hospice. So this particular morning, um, she had to. She had. I said I was going to pick her up. Well, um, my car. I didn't have any insurance on my car. The 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 I guess on the streets they would call it driving dirty. I didn't have any insurance. I didn't have the correct paperwork.
that. When was this?
This was back in New York. I might have been 22,
Okay,
21,
okay.
22. So I went, I picked her up. And on the way back home, um, two cars went through the yellow line, yellow light. I got pulled over because my car was red.
Mhm.
Didn't make a fuss about it. The police told me, he wrote me up some tickets. He said, you have to appear in court, so and so. I told him what was going on. He said, okay, just go home, park the car up. And that's what I did. And I told my brother, what happened? He says, a lot of problems. They're going to suspend your license forever.
Mm.
So I'm sitting in court, and the judge is calling people up one by one, and everyone is saying, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. And then he's imposing their sentence. Then he calls me up. Mr. Shalom, how do you plead? I said, guilty. You're guilty. Well, aren't you going to give yourself a chance? I said, no, I was guilty. I knew that I was driving a car that wasn't licensed. I didn't have it, but I had to pick my mom up. He looked at me and said, you know what? You're the first person who's come in here and told me the truth. I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to suspend this, suspend this, suspend this. All I had to pay was $50. He suspended everything else. All I had to pay was $50.
That was like being honest.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah,
came down to that.
yeah. Just being honest.
Right, and that lesson must have carried with you the
Yeah,
rest of your life.
yeah,
Just be blatantly honest.
yeah.
With
Just be honest. Just be honest.
Yeah, that's a good lesson. So, do you think this advice could also be true for a lot of new immigrants or new people who come to America and trying to succeed instead of do not cut corners?
Yes, and if you want to succeed in any business, any relationship, anything, especially when it comes to the black community, you have to help each other out. If you don't want and can't help each other out, it's not going to happen. A lot of things that's happening now is because you're not helping each other out. And it's very, very sad. But, you know, a baseball team, a hockey team, a cricket team, in order to succeed, what do you have to do? Work with each other. You may not like the bowler. You may not like the quarterback. You may not like the pitcher. But once you guys work together, you're working for that common goal. And once it all comes together, you're going to succeed. But if you keep fighting and bickering and doing whatever you're doing, you're not going to succeed.
So, be honest and work together,
Yeah,
even though you might have some differences, but
yeah,
set them aside.
yeah.
Um, Can you talk a little bit about what kind of work you do and how you got into it? Is it because your mother pushed you into it, your parents, or
No.
family?
I became a claim adjuster um, after I left JetBlue, and I worked for an independent adjusting company called Pilot Adjusting, and I worked with them for a while. And I found that every time I went to do a claim, that sometimes people didn't have enough insurance, so they had to get funding from the bank to help them, get back on their feet. And I really can't remember what I did to get into this business, but I must have been on the internet, and something came up with loan brokers. And I looked into it, and I said, you know what? I'm going to look into it more and see what's going on. And and that's what I did, and that's how I got into this business. So what I try to do is go more to the uh, minority communities, um, because funding is somewhat scarce, and talk to them about what I do, how I can help them. Um, but I fund anyone. You can have a KKK on your shirt or a
Mm-hmm.
pointed white hat. If I can help you with your business, get funding or get equipment financing, I'm gonna do it.
So, for a layman like me, when you mean you fund anyone, you you help people get loans? Is that what
Yes,
it is?
business loans. So, um, I tell people, a layman like yourself,
Mhm.
simple. Um, you want to buy a home, you go to the banks. You may go to Citibank, Chase, or whatever bank, and they tell you, no, we can't give you a mortgage. Who do you go to? A mortgage broker.
Mhm.
Mortgage brokers have access to multiple sources to help you get that loan. Same thing as an insurance broker. I am just the middle person that's going to help you get the funding for your business.
So you said you're a claim adjuster, which is the
I
same
used to be a
used
claim
to be.
agent. Used to be.
Okay. Now
Used to
you're a
be.
mortgage
No,
broker. No, what are you now?
finance broker. Well,
Finance
it's not a mortgage broker. It's a business broker.
business broker.
Yeah.
So you basically, in a nutshell, you help people get business loans and help them
Yes.
succeed in
Yes.
whatever they are doing. And are you focused on, like you said, I could be wearing anything, any kind of shirt, or may not agree with you on something, but you still help me. So, but you still like focus on a certain community, or certain community comes to you? No,
No. No.
no.
No.
You help anybody.
Yes. Yes.
All right. And this is this a part of how you, like you said, like working with people, like
Yeah.
collaborating with them,
Yeah.
regardless of your differences and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Is that is that an advice you would give to a most newcomers to America? Like
Yeah.
even though you come and you try to cling on to your people, like that's what happens mostly when you come. Like Indians come and they want to be with Indian community, and
Yes.
Chinese come with Chinese. Would you advise them to like venture out of their comfort zone a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can stay within your comfort zone,
Mhm.
but venture out. See, with people like my daughter, she loves to travel. Oh God, she travels. She travels too much. But she's going to different countries. She's seeing different people. I've met people here in Tampa that's never been over to St. Pete.
And these are American people.
Yeah, never been over to St. Pete.
Is it because they're too comfortable here, or they're afraid to travel, or they're afraid to change, make any
I
changes in their
I
lives?
I think it's both.
Both.
I think it's both, but never been over to St. Pete. I'm like, why? He says, I don't need to go there. I'm like,
Okay.
okay. I just stopped and I said, okay, that's
Right.
fine.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people in America, a good number of people have 50%, maybe they don't even have passports.
Yes, yes, yes. Go travel. The world is big. I mean,
Mhm.
America is big itself, but so much. There's so much that the world has so much to offer. You know, there's enough food. There's enough land. There's enough for everything. I enjoy yourself. Work with each other, and things will be better.
Well, thank you so much, Ronald. I appreciate your time.